Welcome to the 15th week after Pentecost. It is Wednesday, September the 4th, 2024. This is the Manna at the Tap podcast, where we as a community actively seek the spiritual nourishment our souls crave. I'm Gloria, your fellow traveler on this spiritual journey, and together we offer and receive insights and interpretations from the daily lectionary readings, which provide the manna designed to nurture our spiritual growth. The lectionary reading is from the Song of Solomon, also known as the Song of Songs. Like the book of Esther, the Song of Solomon does not mention God's name or Israel's covenant with God. The book reads like erotic poetry and is more suited to a steamy romance model than Holy Scripture. The dominant interpretation in modern times would also agree that it is nothing more than ancient erotic love poetry full of lush and sometimes erotic imagery. This love song celebrates and declares faithful love between Solomon as a young man and an unnamed young woman, the Shulamite, who is described as very close to her mother, assertive, and extremely beautiful. The inclusion of Song of Solomon in the canon of Scripture created much debate among rabbis in the first century. They said Solomon wrote it in his youth when he was lustful. Proverbs he wrote in his seasoned middle age, and Ecclesiastes was written when he was delusioned in his delusioned old age. Sorry about that. The traditional interpretation of the book is an allegory of the love between God and Israel, and later developed as the love between Christ and the church, a love reflected in the renewed life of the earth itself, and a love stronger than death, sealed by the resurrection. For this reason, it deserves a place in Scripture. The lectionary reading is Song of Solomon, chapter 8. It opens with the Shulamite lover longing for greater intimacy with her beloved. Public display of affection was frowned upon between spouses, but not necessarily between family members like brothers and sisters. So she wished her lover was like a brother. Then she would have had the liberty to kiss him freely in public. She's feeling all alone and is missing her lover, longing for sexual intimacy and to have his focus on her, teaching her the intricacies of love in the place where she had her first intimate contact. The art of preparing for love is best learned at home. The lovers want their love to progress and grow until it is mature and fruitful, and that it will continue without interruption until they are both fulfilled. Love is sacred. It is not to be sought because it stirs and awakens itself, and it should not be trifled with. The daughters of Jerusalem are told not to force their love on a young man and not to force the relationship by being impatient. The lectionary reading is verses 5 to 7, beginning with these words: Who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved. These exact words were spoken earlier when the young woman was dreaming about her lover coming to get her in chapter 3, verse 6. The reality of that dream is now taking place. The happy pair, married at last, no longer have to conceal their relationship, but they can walk in public arm in arm. The scene will now shift from the eyes of the public to the couple as they retreat to their private space. The apple tree symbolized love in ancient poetry because of its beauty, fragrance, and sweet fruit. The young woman is now wife and is the one who has initiated lovemaking. Their passion and desire for sexual intimacy is aflamed in their marriage as they each take a turn and initiate lovemaking. The imagery we have in verse 5b is that Solomon has taken his beloved to the place where his parents made love under the apple tree to conceive him. And now he and his beloved are making love under the same apple tree. She commands that she be placed like a seal over her lover's heart, because love is as strong as death. What might we learn from our lectionary reading today? In the introduction, I noted the Song of Solomon can be interpreted as an allegory of the love between God and Israel, and later Christ and the church. The couple coming out of the wilderness connotes Israel's 40 years of trials as they journey from Egypt to the promised homeland. The couple have overcome the curse of disharmony that God placed on the first couple, Adam and Eve, in Genesis 3:16, when her desire was to be for her husband and he would rule over her. The reversal has taken place in this book. The young woman declares, I am my beloved's, and his desire is for me. The relationship between man and woman is restored. The rupture between humanity and the earth is also restored. Here in the garden of the Song of Solomon, there are no thorns and thistles. The world rejoices with the lovers. And finally, the rupture between humanity and God is restored if you understand the Song of Solomon allegorically. The marriage is healed, renewed, and rooted in love. Love as fierce as the grave, unquenchable. The good life consists of the proper relationships between man and woman, humanity and the earth, and humanity and God.